Raise at work, innit?
Oh, bro, master the raise. Story, bro. Ask them. Actually, furthermore, demand the raise.
Yeah. Come on.
King.
Come on.
Do a Joe Budden, know your value. You know how they move.
Oh,
Right?
do not bring Joe Budden and podcast. Actually, I'm Joe Budden in it, and these men are my side men.
Who, Rory Moore?
Nah, you crazy, bro.
So they're bound
I'm
to
Joe
leave.
Budden.
They're bound
Are
to
you
dip
crazy,
soon.
bro?
That's cool, bro. I don't mind.
Yeah, I can't lie. We can't make that comparison because Rory Moore have dipped big time.
Bye. Sayonara. See you later.
Mhm.
In a bit.
Yeah, no, it's mad. But
Good.
no, like even today, there's been quite a few dope releases, innit? We even chatting about the AJ Tracy tape.
Yeah.
I'll start now.
earlier today.
Shall I start now?
Yeah,
I have to
no,
make okay, cool. I'd just like to make a formal apology to AJ Tracy for giving him smoke for the last 3 years.
Well, is it good?
Oh, fire! Oh, the thing is,
Because you know what it is. Because I was talking to my brother, and it was just like, is AJ Tracy's brand confusing? Because it just feels like, okay, you're in this flu game American thing, and it's like, I don't know. It's like
I thought literally exactly the same thing. And in this tape, he's clocked the sound that he's going for, innit?
Okay.
That whole American swag / UK swag. Like he's got the blend perfectly, finally. Because I think he did what was the tape he dropped beforehand? It was like animated.
The self-titled album, AJ Tracy.
Nah, there was one before that.
Oh yeah, he did Secure the Bag.
Yeah, that's terrible. No offense to him. That's horrible. That's not good at all. And that's the kind of AJ I was just not liking. But this new one.
Yeah, you're right. On that one, he sound confused. Like, am I going for the American one? Am I going for the UK?
It was hot doo-doo trash. But this tape now is very cold. So apologies to AJ. I know when I'm wrong.
I'm gonna check it out.
That's cold still.
Yeah, no. So Ade, were you able to check out any of like the drops today? Like
the only thing I checked out today, it was the Young Thug tape, the compilation, and listen to the Drake verse. I just wanted to hear the Drake verse before anything. So
you didn't even hear the Skepta one?
No, not yet. I think I was but you know, I woke up this morning off and I was like, I need to hear something. And then I was on Twitter, they were like, oh, Drake spazzed out on this verse. So I was like, let me hear Drake's verse. So that was dope. But I'm gonna listen to it properly literally after this and literally just have my weekend and just listening to new music.
Can't lie, that Skepta verse has scarred me.
Really?
Why? You know what? It's because he literally starts off his first. He literally starts off his verse with like, he just got off the jet. He's leaving a semen on seats, and I'm like, what? That's a mad way to come in.
Yeah, but Skepta's always been X-rated like that. To be fair,
that was Drake. Was that Skepta or Drake that did that verse?
That was Skepta.
Skepta.
Do you know what it is? It's ASAP Rocky that's getting him to say semen on stuff in it, car. Remember when he said in that interview?
Yeah.
We were in the showers, just fighting. I'm gonna lie, we're slipping on semen. Like, what? It's crazy, but yeah, if it works, I guess, innit?
Yeah, no, anything to get some clout in it. Why not?
Exactly.
But let me introduce the guest Ade, obviously the founder of Arts Meets Culture, big brand, safe for coming on.
No worries, man.
Yeah, so I kind of just wanted to start from the beginning and ask like how did you initially come up with the concept for the brand?
Yeah, man. I mean, the whole concept began because before I was working in music predominantly, I wanted to be the A&Rs of A&Rs, Russell Simmons. I wanted to be all these guys in one. And I think during my time, I started off at Universal as an A&R intern, and then I went to work for Myish Music, and they were looking after Deneo, Princess Naya, Incisive, doing some work with Julia Marley as well. And I kind of just fell out of love with the music process, and I just wanted to enjoy the music. So scrolling through Instagram and just noticing all these artists picking up on socials and seeing how these artists gaining 10,000 followers on Instagram. Have they done exhibitions before? And prior to that, I went to a Mr. Brainwash exhibition. He's famously known for doing stuff for Rick Ross, doing Rick Ross's album cover and stuff like that. Went to his exhibition in Oxford Circus. And I just saw the event, how packed it was. And so many people were intrigued about his art. And also his story, because he featured in the Banksy documentary as well. So that's how he became an artist. And from there, I was just cool. I know a load of music artists. And I'm going to contact all these artists and just put them in a space where, you know, people can enjoy music and also get art at the same time. So initially it was called Art Meets Music. That's how it started. And then from there, we've just, you know, gone through so many crazy plot holes, new teams, old teams, 22 events, and, you know, now we're here.
You know, that's dope. That's dope. And yeah, no, like obviously, yeah, we linked up like end of 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to chat about everything, and I was proper feeling it. And obviously, I remember you even talking about like festivals and all of that.
Yeah.
So like, obviously, how everything's gone in 2020, like, what are you still looking to do, like in this current climate? Would you say?
It's been a mad one because initially at the start of 2020, I initially wanted to do 4 events that year.
Yeah.
I approached the venue. I said, "Oh, we want to do 4 events. These are the concepts we had. We had one on, you know, the culture of grime and everything like that." And they just literally came out with a deal where they's like, "We want all your ticket money,
Man.
all the artist money as well. Have a high percentage." I was like, "Our business don't work like that." Plus, they wanted the email data for our fans. I'm just like,
do you want to expose them today, by the way? Do you want to expose that company? That's all.
They don't exist no more. But
they're not around no more.
No,
Oh,
not
swear,
around
you got like that, are they?
Yeah, not like that, bro.
Man said, it gave me stupid price. I said,
but yeah, I mean, I think, you know, their venue, you know, got caught up in the whole COVID thing, and, you know, obviously, you know, it shut down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, from there, I was just like, you know what, scrap all events. I ain't doing no events all year. I'll just literally just focus on, you know, the brand and what we're looking to do next, which was podcasting. So I was doing podcasting before that, and then the pandemic happened. And like a month in, I was like, everybody's at home, all the artists at home. Let me just get on Zoom, because I was wondering, like, how's everybody doing podcasts? And I'm seeing like State of the Culture was doing on Zoom. Joe Biden podcast was on Zoom, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go on Zoom. So I literally interviewed 4 artists a day that first week, unscripted. You can hear in the early episode, I'm doing in and R-in and no structure whatsoever. But lucky enough, these were the artists I built relationships with beforehand. So it was easy just to have a conversation with them. So I kind of pivoted into doing more podcasts. And now we're like on 42 episodes, which is amazing. And then shortly after, I was like, we need to just get into that content game. Because as much as we wanted to do it with high profile cameras and director and stuff like that, I said, look, everybody just film in front of your camera, tell us who you are, what you do. And then I started, you know, the Artist Watch, just doing more insights into artists. But yeah, that's what's been going on right now. I really want to carry on the whole content game and, you know, giving an artist a different form of platform, because music has its grind daily. You know, fashion has its hype beasts and everything like that, just to showcase their people and their things. But like, where's the platform for art and, you know, do it in a cool way? So I believe that, you know, this is the platform for it. But now, like, lockdown is lifted and, you know, we're coming back to, like, I don't want to say that it's normal.
Some sort of normality.
Some sort of normality.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm definitely creeping back into events because, like, all this experience doing 22 events, I'm essentially an event manager now. Do you know what I mean? By all the things that I've done. So I'm creeping back into that, but doing more precise events than multiple events. That's just, it's the same thing over and over again. I really want to start curating like experiences in the exhibition space.
Yeah, no, and I think it's definitely dope, because I think especially in a black community, especially if you're coming from like working class background, you normally think like the arts and all of that is like out of reach, innit?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people they wouldn't even try it just because they believe, like, where would I even go to do this, or promote my stuff? So I definitely think the platform is definitely important in terms of that as well.
100%. And then I think, I don't want to say bless the pandemic. Obviously, it's come with, like, you know, some dark things. But if it wasn't for the pandemic, I wouldn't have pivoted and I wouldn't have thought of these new ideas and to simplify the brand more efficiently. Because, you know, now I'm in the rebrand phase in terms of when we drop the website, we're going to be pitching a little bit more services, you know, consultancy, you know, brand partnerships and the event side of things. And that's what, you know, is my 100% focused right now.
No, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah, so now I kind of wanted to pivot more into music.
Yeah.
And like ask who are like your like top guys at the moment, because I think there's like, as you said before, there's a strong, like, even your brand was originally called Art Meets Music, innit? Like I've always think there's a strong like connection between the two. Yeah, so I kind of wanted to get your take on like, like firstly, like why do you think there is that strong connection between like the music and the arts in that sense?
It's all expression, really. You know, with the artists, they draw out of feeling, they draw out of relief. You know, a lot of the artists that I speak to on the podcast, you know, talk about their mental health. You know, some have even openly admitted that they wanted to kill themselves, you know what I mean, which is always deep. It's deep to hear, but also a relief to hear that, you know, they're coming out of it through these art forms. And a lot of them also, you know, expressing like strong messages, you know, around the Black Lives Matter movement. I saw so many art pieces that were dedicated to that. You know, and that mirrors in music as well. You know, we have political rappers, we have, you know, rappers who rap out of, oh, I feel this way, someone expressed this way, and I've been through XYZ. So it's all expressive. And I think that's why they kind of marry each other. It's one of those, it's a feeling on both. Do you know what I mean? You get the vibe. You know what people are doing commercial, like the commercial people. It's like with the art, you'll know that, oh, this person's only drawing this because of XYZ, or this person's only dropping this music because, you know, they want to get into the chart. So it mirrors each other in unique ways.
Yeah, no, definitely. And kind of connecting on the music. Like for me at the moment, I'd say like my top 3 selected guys, like the goats in the UK scene are like Stormzy, Dave, and J Hus. And I think it kind of connects to what you say, because they kind of like, the spoken, like, it's rare, especially in black music, for like them to speak on like mental health and just be honest in it. And I think it shows you like the top guys are those who are like actually opening up. I mean, like Dave's last album was even called Psychodrama.
Yeah.
Obviously, Stormzy spoke on his issues on his debut album as well. And
then again, I think if you get an artist where like one person speaks about it, then another person speaks about it, then it just kind of opens the floodgates for people to feel, you know, confident about these things. Because I think everybody goes through at least something, you know.
Oh, 1000%.
I don't believe that there's a single person that doesn't go through any mental health struggles. I think it's something that we all go through. So, you know, even like to bring race into it, to see like black men even kind of stepping out and speaking about it, is something that, you know, it's just kind of great to see. I don't want to say like, oh, it's in fashion right now. But I'm just happy that people are, you know, kind of stepping up and speaking about these things, because especially as a, you know, as a black artist, you know, a lot of like Dave, for example, you know, when he's done Black, and he did that. Was that the Brits? I'm really bad at memory.
Yeah,
the Brits. He did that. Yeah, like the backlash that he got from that for basically speaking on something that is, you know, a good thing, and to take that and then kind of have to push forward can really take a toll on your mental health. So, you know, like artists like Dave, like, you know, like Jay Huss, like the more they speak about it, it just opens the gates for more people to kind of step in and talk about it, which is kind of good to see. But it's kind of it's good. It's good. I'm happy. But the only thing is, will it maintain when things go back to normal? Is what I'm keen to see, especially with Black Lives Matter.
In terms of the conversations about, you know, the mental side of things.
Because if it goes out,
I think it will. But then again, I get what you mean. Like, or will it maintain? You know, people just going to get back into the habits and everything like that. I think there'll be more platforms that will be highlighting it just a little bit better. Because I think if the platforms stop doing it, that's when it will just die forever. Do you know what I mean? Because they're just going to get back to their ways. But are they doing it because it's the trendy thing? Do you know what I mean? It's like, do they really care about that? That's where I'm with you on that. Like, would it still continue? Do you know what I mean?
It's you don't want to come across as pessimistic when you say those things. So it's like, oh no, they definitely mean it. They definitely mean it. But you always do have to be a bit careful that it's not a trend. You know, like these things, they're great, they're good, but at the end of the day, is it a trend or is it actually changing behaviors? And that will only tell over time, innit? So fingers crossed. I'm hopeful. I'm positive. I think it's changing, but again, we'll see when things go back to normal in about a year's time. If he's still speaking about these things.
We'll see.
Clip this.
Yeah.
I said this. Clip this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. I kind of, like, I also wanted to obviously speak about with arts meets culture, like the influence of the art. So I kind of wanted to ask you, like, who were kind of the artists that like influence you, like when you were younger, and then like kind of as you got older into like your later teenage years?
As in like the music side of artists, or
no, as in like the arts.
You know what?
Man's gonna say something like he doesn't like art. I can feel it.
No.
I can feel it already.
No, the funny thing is, I've gone through so many. How can I put it? Like career chasing things. Like, okay, secondary school, I picked art.
Yeah.
I failed at it miserably.
No.
Wait, you're Nigerian. You're not allowed to do art. You have to be a doctor, bro.
Listen. I got cool parents. You know what I mean?
You busted.
I got cool parents, so they're all good. They're not. You have to be a doctor. I've never heard them say that in their lives. I've heard it through other parents, but not through them. So
okay, doctor, lawyer.
You know what I mean? Doctor and lawyer. You know them ones. But I initially wanted to, do the whole street basketball thing, because I was really and one Iverson, Hot Sauce, all them guys. So I was focused on that. But at the same, in terms of what influenced that creativity, was the Kanye West of the world. When Pharrell came out with Lap Dance. That was the first nude video I saw with my parents, and it was the most awkward ever.
Wait. What? Sorry, I don't know if I've never seen this before. It's a naked video.
There's an X-rated version.
The X-rated one. The first time I saw it, I was with my parents, and I can hear my mum in Yoruba was like, "This is not for the kids."
You know
what I mean? My dad was like, "Leave them. They're boys. They're fine." Yeah, they're mad cool. They're mad cool.
Get beats.
But what triggered like the creative mind was the Pharrell Rockstar video, and that's when I knew, there's an alternative, black guy out there, who likes different things, bright colors, creativity, and then the whole bait movement happened, and I just started seeing all these artistic things, and that kind of just drove my journey into seeing what sort of art I liked, and then finding out about Basquiat, finding out about Andy Warhol, the stuff that we learned in school, which was like kind of one-sided, but you didn't go into the deep history. But then it led me to go a little bit deeper. But the Basquiats of the world was my first influential artist that kind of triggered me to learn more about art and push more about art. So yeah, other than that, I don't really have any others. It's just what kind of just drove me into this creative space. But I think music was more of the driver into that. Do you know what I mean? And just seeing everything visually and just hearing how creatives speak. I've got more influences now than I had back then. So, but 9 times out of 10, they're fashion designers. You know what I mean? So,
I got a question. Oh, sorry,
yeah.
Can I go?
No, I was just going to ask you, like, who are your like favorite fashion designers? Because definitely, for me, when I look at music and where we are now, I always look at music as like being part fashion and part the music. Because obviously you mentioned like Pharrell. Like I grew up listening to so much NERD that I honestly just wanted like. I wanted Vapesters, I wanted BBC stuff, I wanted the ice cream shoes, like all of that stuff. So are there like any designers like currently that you like that are sort of on your radar?
Currently, Jerry Lorenzo is one. Not a fan of the essential stuff because everyone's wearing essentials currently right now. And
everyone and their aunties, dogs, mothers, grandmas,
I actually like
cousin.
as well. I really like it.
I really like it, but
I can't get it now.
Exactly. I'm with you. So like Jerry Lorenzo, the reason why I like him in terms of his whole entire story, coming from being a sports agent to an assistant at Kanye's, and then now his whole thing. So I like how he's developed. Ronnie Feig at Kith is another one. I'm just in love with like these streetwear guys' stories. I'm very this is the names left me. Pierre, anybody knows?
Oh, Pierre Bourne,
Pierre Cardin. Not Pierre Cardin.
I can't remember, but it's this guy, Kerry something. I want to find his name. But I've been paying attention to his story. And he's got an amazing story on how he started and how the industry shunned him. I'm actually looking for it at the same time. So if this feels unprofessional, I apologize.
I was going to say,
I'll cut with it in it, so it's cool.
It's all good. But I'll find his name later. But he's another one. who inspired my creative mind. I just love how these designers, just create freely and they're not, part of the system. Do you know what I mean? Even though they're connected with like major brands and everything like that, they talk heavily of, oh, the industry wasn't messing with me. You know what I mean? So I had to kind of force this issue and believe it in myself to kind of show them, look, this is what I've done, this is what I design. And they're very brave in their decisions. So those three, even though I didn't mention the third one, which is very bad. I've been watching these interviews all week. And there's one more. I would say Kanye as well, even though he said what he said in this world, but he's someone. I just said that. Who kissed their teeth?
Fucking idiot, bro. I fucking hate Kanye, bro. Don't piss me
off. No, I love. I think I love Kanye as much as he's done these crazy things, these mad things, but like what he is as a creator is just pure bravery.
You can't deny that.
I think in 50 years time, people are going to end up studying this guy, do you know what I mean? And being very curious. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we don't know what sort of mess these old school designers, Da Vinci's and all this were doing and saying, do you know what I mean? They just marveled at. But because we see Kanye on a day-to-day and hear what he says, we see all these flaws and hear all these flaws. But, in years to come, we'll admire that guy, and forget all the rubbish he said.
It's also crazy, like how quickly as well, like everyone slated the whole Yeezy brand, like when he was first trying to sell like leather joggers and like all of this stuff.
That's what people wear now.
Literally,
exactly.
Now everyone wants his product. Like everyone wants it. Like I was even a good example of that. I don't know if you saw the story about the brand Telfar, which is quite big in New York. But basically, they've got these leather bags which has like an embossed logo.
Yep.
I actually bought one in the recent drop, and they take about sort of 3 months to ship because they make them all in house and everything. And it's crazy how fast the sort of fashion industry moves, because obviously a lot of the high street brands, they copy a lot of the big fashion brands. Guess released their own version of the same bag for like half the price.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind that like Telfar is like a black owned business, everything. They just went, oh no, we're just going to take your idea and just put a G on it instead of a T. And it's like,
that sounds quite familiar. It's like it's happened before.
It's definitely happened before.
It's escaped my mind. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. But the guy's called Kirby Jean Raymond. PMOS, that's his brand. If you guys have heard of it. But yeah, my brother told me about that whole guest incident. I think they had to pull those bags out now. So
they did.
No more, it was crazy, but screw him.
Also, honorary shout out to a Cold Wall as well. That's another sick brand with Samuel Ross.
All these brands are going over my head. I just know about Nike, Adidas, and Ankara. I can't lie, bro, Reebok and Fila, fam. I feel like an idiot. Sorry, I'll get dipped out, guys. Sorry.
Oh, good.
Well, I've got a question for you, actually, Ade. Kind of going back to you doing art in school and kind of like the people you were inspired by. Did you ever find that you couldn't really like relate to any artist as a black man, if that makes sense? Because I know for me personally, if I think of an artist, probably when I was growing up more, I didn't really think of any black artists who was just kind of your quote unquote, boxed out white kind of artist. Did you ever find any? What did you kind of think about that kind of growing up with art?
To be honest, I didn't think about it because I didn't know at the time. I was just drawing, and it was just drawing to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's only when you get older then you realize how many black artists were highlighted. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? You start to think about these things, and then you start to think about these influences. So even when I was drawing back then, I had like my final exam was, you had to draw a concept. My thing was I wanted to draw like hip hop cereal. So I was doing like Jay-Z's Blueprint in a cereal form and stuff like that. Failed because I didn't explain it. To me, I was just like, people draw, they get famous, and then that's that. Do you know what I mean? What's the explanation about? It's down to interpretation. But I was drawing from my music influences at the time. Do you know what I mean? So all the black artists that were around then. So I was drawing from that rather than the artists in the art world. So I was using music as my energy.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's definitely understandable. And yeah, kind of like going back onto Kanye, I kind of just wanted to mention that, like, I remember like 2013. So I basically, like, I used to work on the bars at festivals, innit? And like 1 year I happened to be at Wireless. I think this was year 2013 when Kanye was doing the whole fashion rants and all of that. And like,
was it when he performed twice in a week?
Sure, got the asses straight.
Yeah, he literally stopped the show and just ranted for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, I remember that.
But it's mad, like, even though people are annoyed, but literally, like, everything he said, he's kind of gone on to do, like, at this present time. So, like, I definitely have to hail him up for that. Like, at least he done it in a mad way, but there was some genius to the madness, if anything.
Yeah, and he's, you know, he's opened the doors for a lot of people, you know, the Virgils of the world and the Jerry Lorenzos of the world who, you know, were under him. Do you know what I mean? But he's just the guy who's just going to take the bullets first.
Yeah.
Take all the bullets first, and then when these guys come in, they'll know, oh, we don't want to take this deal with Nike, or if we're going to go into a fashion house, this is the type of deal we get. So he's kind of just, you know, set the pace for them as creatives. So, you know, that's why I will always admire that guy. And I'm like, if Kanye is getting blasted on the internet, I have to pick a certain day to back him, or, you know, Twitter's just gonna just ruin you that day. But I always say, like, this guy has opened doors for a lot of the creatives that we see today. Do you know what I mean? As much as they don't want to admit it, you know, a lot of them come from Kanye's tree. Do you know what I mean? So even Drake, for instance, you know, as much as they're in beef, it's like you came from your biggest project when you started was from you know, Kanye's tree. So, you know, people got to hail him up and respect him.
I've got a hot take about the whole Louis Vuitton thing, you know.
Let's go.
Kanye should have got that job, man.
Oh yeah. I think he wanted it.
He did. But the thing is, though, what I found though is, like, he had to go out and prove himself for them to kind of. Actually, no, I'll take that all back. They just weren't trying to hear it because he's a black man in the industry. I'm gonna take that all back. That's just what they want hearing it. And I think Nike especially fumbled the bag with the Yeezy project, because like Yeezys right now, like, I don't know, we might not realize at the moment, but this is the modern day Jordan. Like, in the next 20, 30 years, when we have kids, they're going crazy for Jordans and Yeezys now. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's created that, and I think Nike definitely fumbled the bag with it. But
it's weird with Nike. Sorry to cut you. It's weird with Nike. They did the same thing with Jerry Lorenzo, because he wanted to do the next Fear of God trainers, but they were like, nah, we don't want to do XYZ. So he's like, cool,
say nothing.
Nothing about it. And then Adidas came in, and then he just said, I'm just gonna go to Adidas.
The thing is, though, I think with a lot of the power of social media is also changing things as well. You don't actually need, obviously, you need the backing from these brands, but a lot of people can just put something out. If you got the following, you then kind of get the traction you need. But like, I don't know what Nike are doing if they're fumbling the bag twice like this. Like, they need to really fix up, because it's not making sense.
I also don't think, but my opinion on Nike as well versus Adidas, I don't feel like Nike are the most creative.
No.
I think they always kind of re-release like old
retro,
shoes, and then
the
they're kind of living off the hype. Like, apart from the only exception maybe is when they collaborate with an artist like Skepta with the SKAs.
Yeah, but that's just a normal shoe though. That's a normal. I don't actually. That's a shock shoe though, is it not? That's a shock.
No, well, I mean, obviously, because it's Skepta, it just gives it that extra push.
The only thing is with like the tailwinds. I guess the only thing you can say that's different is like the fact that it was like iridescent in places and like all this sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, like Adidas for me, like I own a pair of Yeezys, you would never go to Nike and see a pair of shoes that look like that. It just looks very unique in itself.
Nah, I'm gonna challenge you on that, bro. They look like Roshi runs from before, innit? So if you all remember Roshi runs, I can't remember.
Yeah, I used to have a
they were comfortable as fuck. What they dropped first, and then the Yeezy came. Well, I'm not saying he copied. I'm just putting out there.
That boosts soul though. Oh my god, so
very comfortable.
Very comfortable. Like stepping on breast.
Right, edit.
Nah, don't edit that. Leave that in there. Clip it. Furthermore, clip it. Piss me off.
But, yeah, no, I think I saw something online. Apparently, like the original Yeezy Nike prototypes. Like, I don't know how people got a hold of them, but apparently, like the most expensive trainer being sold at the moment. They look pretty sick. Like, me personally, I prefer the Nike ones. Like, I think they were like proper dope. Yeah.
And they were good. They were good.
I prefer the Adidas ones.
There is a pair of shoes that Kanye did, and it's the college dropout Bapesters. and they are
never got
like
released, didn't it?
Never got released, but there's like they're in circulation somehow. There's like I think there's only like 200 pairs.
Probably just dead stock then.
Yeah, no, they're probably, but they're literally like, I mean, I've seen a pair in person, and they're absolutely mad. But I can just, you can just imagine like there's probably so many fakes out there in rotation now.
Yeah, well, Bape's
Like,
known for fakes though, anyway. But again, especially with Nike, they would definitely not. Well, I don't know how Nike is with Bape. I don't know how they allow them shoes to be sold, but yeah, that's a bit
it's crazy, isn't it?
It doesn't make sense. It's like a fake Air Force, and they're like, yeah, do your thing.
They did the same with Dunks as well recently.
Yeah.
They completely like they basically took the whole silhouette of the Dunk and then put like Bape on the side of it, and it was just like, yeah, cool. It's like, all right.
Do you guys think there's a lot of fake footwear going around?
Yes, on Instagram.
Yes.
On Instagram.
Because I'm so I'm baffed with these shoe sellers that are coming out of nowhere and have all this stock. But I was researching. There's this. I can't remember what it is. I'll send you guys the link. It's a video of this guy in China, and it's like a dark web or something like that. And they would say to him, "Look, we want this shoe exactly the same," and he'll make it for them and he'll send it. But he had like a mask on. He wasn't really trying to show his face. But everyone's getting these trainers like that, because I'm hearing all these trainers are limited and you can't buy them on certain sites. But like everybody has like
doesn't add up.
No, to be fair, I saw with that anyway. Like even if you go on Instagram, they've even people selling like they're calling them replicas. They're like 1-to-1 replicas, and people are just basically getting those shoes and then just kind of selling them as new. Even like Abracadabra got stung for it, where some kids sold him fake shoes.
Yeah.
He's then gone to someone else and is like, "Oh, how do you get these shoes?" Basically, and he's like, "Oh yeah, like they're fake. I sold them to Abracadabra. I told him they were fake as well." The guy's now screenshotted it, tweeted it. Abs has gone crazy. Like, you sold my fake. Bro, run me back my P. Even I don't know if you guys heard of this. She's a part of
you
know this. What's she part? Is it GB Records?
Yeah, GB
Records. Yeah, and then she got sold a pair of fake Dior's as well. So like, yeah, fake trainers are flying. Like, do not buy trainers from.
I ain't buying from nobody. Listen, I'll pay the fee.
Furthermore, don't buy food from Instagram as well. Stop buying stuff from Instagram.
That's a big one as well. It's like I think they want to do the health regulations on a lot of these food, because people, you don't know what these people's kitchen looks like. Do you know what I mean?
Fam, they might be cooking it in a bando. Like, what are you doing? Talking about seafood boil, bruv. You die.
They're crap residues in your broth.
That's what I'm saying, man.
But, there are so many people like selling like they sell like smoothies and juices as well, and they get them delivered to you. It's like, oh, made fresh, but they'll get to you in 2 days. It's like, what? It's not fresh anymore.
That's moldy. That's wine now.
People move mad.
That's prison wine now, mate.
Trust me, moonshine.
Oh man.
Should get you waved.
But yeah, no, like kind of wrapping up, like Ade, I just wanted to ask, like, is there anything like you need to look forward to with the brand, or like just keep an eye out for?
Yeah, I mean, I've been working on 2 events at this moment. One with an artist called Funny Tummy. So we're working on his second solo show with us. And then towards the end of the year, we're going to be doing like some weekly pop-ups as well. But all this is in build up to, do some international shows, because I really want to go out there to New York and LA to do a pop-up show. But the ultimate vision is to really curate this festival that we want to do and really bring the culture together around it. Do you know what I mean? I know there's quite a few platforms, that have events and stuff like that, but I've got some unique ideas that's just going to make our industry people just be like, we need to get into art more. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's chasing around, looking at NFTs, buying music, buying clothes. It's going to be time to buy art real soon. So, we want to make that happen for our people.
Basket.
Sick.
I don't know what you said there, but
I backed it.
You know what I mean?
Wait, side note, I keep seeing this acronym. What does NFT mean, by the way?
Non-fundable tokens. So I'm still educating myself on the whole entire thing, but what it is, from my basic knowledge, is artists, musicians can upload their work and get that registered and recorded in one of those digital spaces. Someone can buy it for whatever Ethereum, whatever cryptocurrency that's currently there.
Okay.
So when it gets sold, basically you could say every time it's sold, I get 20% of the sales. So if we put, you know, a piece on Wearable, which is one of the platforms, that gets sold for X, then that person gets 20%. So then every time it gets sold, it's like publishing, music publishing, you know what I mean? And getting a royalty out of it. So that's what it mainly is. But a lot of people now are just running towards it just to get that quick bag. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's talking about NFTs.
I keep seeing it pop up just everywhere. I'm like, what is that?
Educate yourself before you get into anything like that.
You know
similar crypto, yeah.
Exactly. So I'm not gonna jump into it heavily. I'm just still educating myself to the point of say, okay, cool, I'm gonna step in because, and the same thing with physical art. I don't like many art pieces. Do you know what I mean? So I'm gonna take my time, you know, to educate myself and then know which one I want. Because now I know I've literally made a list of art that I want to collect, and I need to figure out what sort of digital art I want to collect at the same time. Because a lot of these artists are jumping on it because of the money, but not for the purpose. So yeah.
Yeah, I wonder actually how that's going to evolve from like a music standpoint. Because I think we saw like bands like Kings of Leon and stuff like release NFT projects.
Yeah.
So I wonder even for like smaller artists if they want to. I mean, they call it the blockchain, don't they? It's like how your art or your music gets like distributed and you earn money off the back of that. I just wonder how like smaller artists could like put their work on there and sell it for like one Bitcoin or one Ethereum or something like that, and how that evolves.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's interesting, but also we just all got to educate ourselves properly. And a lot of people are pretending to sound like experts when it's just like we're all new here. It's like forget the expert thing. Because I was in a clubhouse room and Swiss Beats the exact same thing. And he was just like, I don't know. We just need to educate ourselves. Everybody's coming out here talking like they're experts. You know, we don't know nothing. Because at the end of the day, when we make it big, who's gonna own it? Like who's gonna really own these platforms? Do you know what I mean? We're just gonna get exploited again. Do you know what I mean? And then we're gonna complain again, and then we're gonna ask for, we need our own platforms. So the cycle keeps moving. So it's just really, really great to educate ourselves first, and then see what our next move is.